Welcome to the Beyond the Ears podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
You're listening to episode 13. Today we're going to be counting down our top 10 Disney animated films. So in episode 7 of the podcast, we did a top 10 Pixar films, which was super fun. Today we're just doing strictly Disney. As in that previous podcast, we're two separate people, obviously, so we're both going to have our own individual lists. You want to go ahead and start with your number 10?
Okay. Man, this is going to be super interesting.
Yeah, ours are going to be way different.
I knew our Pixar ones would match up somewhat close to one another, but this is going to be a total curveball.
Yeah, we had very different upbringings, and also like you're a guy, I'm a girl, so like I'm gonna probably gravitate more traditionally to like the princess movies, and I think you're gonna gravitate more towards like the animal movies, I would assume.
Okay,
but we'll see. Okay, Go ahead.
Okay, you're in for a treat. Let me tell you then. Number 10 for me is Frozen.
Interesting. Okay.
And that was okay. I'm gonna say this. I'm going back and forth on number 10 because I had Lilo and Stitch before.
Okay.
And Frozen, but I like the Nordic of Frozen more than I like the Hawaiian theme of Lilo and Stitch. But I really like Norse mythology kind of stuff, so that I like gravitate towards that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna put that in there that like Lilo and Stitch it's either Lilo and Stitch or Frozen.
Well,
as my number 10.
We'll do a couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 10 is The Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay. Not in my top 10.
I didn't think it would be this. So it's so hard because like we talked about before, it's like all relative to when the last time you watched it was. And we watched Little Mermaid quite often when I was a child, but I haven't watched it very often recently. I think Grayson has watched it maybe twice. Maybe.
I don't even know if he's watched
I don't know if he's watched it all the way through. But yeah, Little Mermaid.
Okay. Do we want to say anything about?
I don't really feel passionate about the last ones on my list.
Okay. Well, I'll just say Frozen was like a really fun film.
Obviously, Frozen's on my list a little bit further down, so I can elaborate on it more.
But like I said, I'm a big Norse mythology kind of guy, and that falls in line with, I think, Norse. Well, I think a lot of it, too, is because it's out of Norway and Disney World.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, the ride is freaking killer.
Yeah. So that probably swayed my decision for number 10, just because of the theme park as well.
Oh,
or
yeah.
the ride and the atmosphere at Epcot Center.
Well, I love that little area.
Yeah. So number 9 for you.
Number 9 for me is Tarzan.
Oh, mine is Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I am shocked. Okay. So, okay. You want to elaborate a little bit about that?
That's crazy because the next one is a princess movie too.
I'm stunned. I don't even know what to say.
So Beauty and the Beast is a 90s movie,
Mm-hmm.
and we are 90s kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we watch that movie with like Jess, my sister, quite often.
Yeah, but you guys also watch more like Fox and the Hound, Lady and the Tramp. I don't know if those are going to be on your list, but really, I thought you were going to go in that direction.
I had Lady and the Tramp on my list, but yeah, I took it off.
Wow.
I like the animated movie and the live action movie, but
Of Beauty and the Beast?
no, well, of that too, but of Lady and the Tramp. Disney Plus, that was their first movie was Lady and the Tramp when Disney Plus dropped.
Yeah. Okay. Well, don't judge a book by its cover, I guess.
Well, I like Beauty and the Beast, obviously, like I said, because it was a 90s movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another one that's influenced me from going to the Disney parks.
Oh yeah, the castle. So we ate at Be Our Guest,
Yeah.
the restaurant.
And I like the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's cool. And it's a super interesting story. So.
It's also on my list.
Okay. So what's your number 9?
Tarzan.
Oh, Tarzan.
Yeah, so...
See, that almost made my list too.
It didn't make your list?
Negative.
Man, you and Jess used to quote that all the time. The little elephant.
Yeah. She still does.
My family, we watched this one pretty often in my childhood, and we would always dance in the living room, like literally go crazy, running in circles, kind of dancing to Phil Collins and the soundtrack to Tarzan. So I think it's a little bit of the nostalgia factor. I also like the live action Tarzan. It's really good.
But not Disney Project.
Correct.
Number
8. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Ralph Breaks the Internet, the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay. Mine is Cinderella.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm like completely shocked. When was the last time you watched Cinderella?
It's been a long time, but I remember it very, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, that's a childhood movie that I remember because whenever we would go to my grandpa's during the summer, Sharon, my great aunt, only had like a handful of kids movies.
Right.
That was one of them. So we watched it on repeat all the time. That and Fox and the Hound and a couple others. But Cinderella was one of them. And that was just something we always watched. And I like the little mice.
Yeah. We didn't watch it that much when I was a kid. We watched more like Beauty and the Beast.
But I like Cinderella.
Okay. I'm a big fan of the live action Cinderella. So when I'm given the choice, I don't typically go for the animated one.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been years since I've watched the animated one. But I also really love the song, the one that Grayson used to sleep to all the time. The one that we were playing on Spotify, the playlist. The Disney music piano song.
Yeah. I don't remember the name.
I can't remember the name, but like if I hear it, I'm like, oh man, this is so relaxing.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your number 8?
Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, see, that was a close one too. It was between the first one or the second one for me.
Yeah,
and the spot that it's in currently.
Okay.
On my list.
I like the second movie better just because I like the overall storyline. I think it's really fun. The whole idea of like the internet. I feel like this movie is kind of slept on. Like people don't give it enough praise. And it's a really fun movie. I think it would be great, like a great theme park attraction.
Oh yeah, a Wreck-It Ralph area would be super fun. Aren't they coming out with a Wreck-It Ralph area? Or is it
I don't
rumors?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
That would be a fun area though.
They could do so many things with that, and I just really like the storyline in this movie a little bit better than the first one.
Well, and I think what holds them up too about making a Wreck-It Ralph area is that they don't have like the rights to like, because Sonic shows up and Pac-Man and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I don't know if Disney would have the rights to be able to like have those there.
I'm sure they could pay someone a lot of money, but I don't know if it would be worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7.
Mine is Beauty and the Beast.
Mine is 101 Dalmatians.
Okay. Okay, so...
See, this is more in line of what you were thinking I was going to pick, I think.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I watched 101 Dalmatians pretty often, too, as a kid. I just, like... I'm a little bit more traditional. I love like the romance storylines. So a lot more of like the Disney princess movies are going to be on my list, which is, I say that, but it's ironic because number 1 on my list is not a romance. But Beauty and the Beast, I just love the storytelling of it. I love all of the characters. I think the voice actors were perfectly cast. And it's definitely one that we watched very often in my childhood. I also love the live action version. Not perfectly cast, but it's still really, really good. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about it. It's a good movie.
Okay.
101 Dalmatians.
101 Dalmatians. I love the dog Pongo. I couldn't remember his name, but I had to look it up real quick. That's the dad. And I also like the live action version of this, even though it's not as good with oh my gosh, I just totally lost her name. But that's a really good movie, and that's another like 90s movie.
We watched that a lot too growing up. I'm trying to remember one of the actors' names who was in it.
The guy from Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
Jeff Daniels.
Yes.
He's in it. He's the dad or the male. And then I can't remember who the other lady is. But it's more of like not about the dogs and more about the humans.
Right.
That. Obviously in the cartoon it's like the talking dogs. And I remember collecting the 101 Dalmatians Christmas set.
Yes, we had
from
those too.
McDonald's. So we had like every single one of them, and somehow they've like, there's a couple I think that we still have, but they've like vanished. But anyway, that's 101 Dalmatians is just a good classic Disney animation movie.
We collected those as well, and we had a pretty big house when I was growing up, and several Christmas trees, and the one small tree in our basement in the corner was always the 101 Dalmatians tree. It had all of the ornaments on it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We had one tree.
Okay. Number 6.
Oh.
It's going to start getting juicy at this point.
All right. My number 6 is The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay. I thought about that several times, putting it on my list, but it didn't make it.
John Goodman is in the movie.
John Goodman is amazing. He's in so many good things.
I know. Patrick Warburton. He does the voice of Kronk. And David Spade.
I know.
Which is
Cusco. It's Cusco. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. We watched that
I was getting ready
often.
to say Mushu, but that's from Mulan. And
Yeah.
we just watched that like yesterday.
Yeah, we watched that so often growing up that I think I got burnt out on it because we would just watch it on repeat.
Yeah. And see, that's kind of what happened to me when I was thinking about like The Fox and the Hound and those other movies is like that's all we watched when we were little kids. And like I like the movies, but I'm just burnt out on the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Watching them now would be fun with Grayson. But I was thinking about that when I made the list. I was like, Lady and the Tramp and Fox and the Hound, we watched so many times at my grandpa's house. It was crazy.
Yeah, and we have been talking about making this specific podcast for a while. And not like a super long time. Obviously, we're still a new podcast, but we've been talking about it for a while. And it's definitely made me realize, like, I want to rewatch a lot of these films with Grayson because he hasn't seen, I don't know. I think he's seen Beauty and the Beast like one time. I think he's seen Snow White one time. I don't think he's seen Sleeping Beauty. Like all of the classics we haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah. That'll be a fun rewatch to do. In the middle of our Star Wars and our Marvel and every other rewatch we're trying to do right now.
Getting too excited about things.
So what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Frozen.
Oh. Interesting.
I had a really hard time putting together my top 6 as far as the order. More specifically, like my top 4.
Okay.
Really hard. Okay, so first of all, the music in any Disney or Pixar film that's come out in the past 15 years, they always have the best soundtracks. So I think Frozen came out in 2013 and it had obviously Let It Go, which I still listen to pretty often in the car. Really powerful song. I love the animation in Frozen. It's just, I would prefer to watch that animation style as opposed to like the 90s animation style. I just prefer it. I think the storyline is great. It was kind of revolutionary at the time. It's been almost a decade since it came out. And the fact that at the end of the movie, she ends up being saved by her sister's love instead of like a romance, even though that's still there too.
Yeah.
We get the sisterly love, which was fun.
And I love Kirsten Bell.
Yeah, she's so great.
Yeah. She's like, she is like the live action version of Anna most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I love the characters. We love Olaf. Grayson really loves Olaf. The Olaf shorts are really fun to watch.
Yeah, he loves those.
Yeah.
We watched those on repeat for a while, like all the freaking time.
Yeah, I mean, just great voice casting with the actors. And I like the storyline. It's fun. And the animation, like I said, is great.
Yep.
Okay, you're number 6.
I said Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I kind of, I was just going to say that the story is like just really fun and happy. And it's like it's a film that like doesn't take itself too serious. Yeah. And I think that's why I like it.
It reminds me of, oh my gosh, what is that one movie with the two guys who go find the like city of gold?
Oh, the Camelot. I think it.
No.
I don't know.
Oh
I know what you're talking about though.
Like one of them's
El Dorado.
Yeah, the road to El Dorado.
Yeah.
It like is kind of similar in the animation style and like the overall like seriousness of the film.
Yeah, that mid 2000s, like late 99s, like late 90s animation is like really underrated, really good animation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, man, Emperor's New Groove. Like I totally forgot about that movie, but I see it in memes all the time because of Kronk, and like there's a TikTok sound where it's like the Cusco.
Yeah.
Oh, I met that villager in the. That's a guy from the village. That's Cusco. Cusco knows him. Blah blah blah. So it. That whole meme thing is like part of the reason I was like, oh, I love that movie, and I love Patrick Warburton and obviously John Goodman. I'm rambling. So number 5. What's your number 5?
Mulan.
Oh my god.
Is it higher on your list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is Wreck-It Ralph, the first movie.
Okay.
Okay, why is Mulan so low on your list?
Okay, well, so I love Mulan. I don't know how to say it without giving away the rest of my list, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. So I just prefer the newer animation style. We watched Mulan yesterday with Grayson. It took us like the whole day to get through it because we
started it Saturday or Friday night.
He was not interested at all in it, which is annoying, but yeah, this one is classic. I watched a lot in my childhood. I love the storyline. This one's kind of a disappointment in the sense like the live action Mulan, because this was the one that like Disney up until this point with the live actions basically did like a word for word remake of the animated films. Yeah. And then when we get to Mulan, it's like they screw up the storyline. Yeah. And it's like that's the one we all wanted to see. Like I like the live action Mulan, but they could have made that and named it something else and actually did like a word for word remake of the animated movie because we all would have freaking loved it.
Yeah, I don't remember the live action one that well.
I don't remember the whole plot because like we all wanted
Mulan.
We wanted the whole storyline with the Shang and like the soldiers being drag queens. Like I don't know why they didn't do that because it would have been
right there. You said it.
It would have been freaking awesome. Anyway, so I like the animated film a lot better, and I just think it's like the perfect balance again of action, adventure, like the romance. We've got the comedy, obviously. I think the voice actors again are perfectly cast. Eddie Murphy as the dragon, as Mushu. Is it
Ming-Na Wing?
Ming-Na Wing.
Yeah.
as Mulan. She's like in everything,
Yeah, I know.
but amazing. Just love the storyline, and it's one of my like comfort movies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack's really good.
Yeah, the soundtrack is banger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my number 5 is Wreck-It Ralph, and I love the voice cast of these movies so much. Like, I'm gonna give you the voice cast of this movie because it's like, it's not like stacked, but it's like, it's pretty freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jane Lynch is Sergeant Calhoun, which is the girl, the badass girl, the Fix-It Felix.
I love that. I love their
his wife.
I love their little story arc. That's so funny.
John C. Reilly, obviously, as Ralph, which I'm a huge John C. Reilly fan. And, like, I'm a John C. Reilly fan before John C. Reilly was, like, who he is today.
Right.
He was in the movie Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Ed O'Neill as Mr. Lilac. He's also the Hank Octopus from Finding Dory. Absolutely love him, even though he's not in the movie a whole lot. Mindy Kaling.
Really?
She's Taffeta, the bully.
Oh yeah.
The bully.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about.
Obviously, we have Sarah Silverman as Vanellope.
Mm-hmm.
And Alan Tudyk, the legend himself. That's in every... He's the voice of everything in Disney, it seems like. He is King Candy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just a great voice cast right there. And it's a good movie. The animation is super fun. I love that, like, their whole world is, like, connected through the chords.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's a big deal if someone gets unplugged and, like, plugged, like, as in the second one, obviously, he plugs in the Wi-Fi. And it's, like, a big deal because it's like, oh, there's a new plug-in. Like, it's, like, something's happening. And the Surge Protector character, the Surge Protector and the Surge Protector, he's funny. It's just, like, a really goofy, campy movie about, like, a bad guy that wants to be a good guy, but, like, the whole story is, like, he's himself.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the end quote, he's like, I'm a bad guy, and that's okay. Being good, or being a bad guy is good. Or whatever, like, his little line is before he smashes the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, a great, it's, like, a great little line.
Yeah.
So, that's my number 6. Or, I'm sorry, my number 5.
Okay. What's your number 4?
Zootopia.
Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so my number 4 is Frozen 2.
Oh, okay.
So talk about Zootopia.
I love the animation in this movie. And we've talked about it before on our Disney Parks episode, where we think it'd be so cool to have a Zootopia themed area at Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So that part, like, was like, oh man, I need to add this to the list for that, and because we've watched it here recently quite a bit with Grayson.
Yeah.
And it is super funny.
It is so good. It's the animation is great. The soundtrack is good. Shakira
Oh yeah.
as Gazelle.
Yeah.
It's such a great movie.
It's fun. It's bright. It's, like, happy for the most part.
Yeah, it's definitely a feel good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uplift your spirits if you're feeling a little dark and depressed.
Yeah. I also think the mom and dad
Yeah.
are hilarious. Especially when she's voice chatting him, and they see the meter vest.
Meter maid.
Yeah. Meter maid. I love that part. Like I said, the story is just really interesting.
And again, with the casting choice,
Yeah.
perfect. Jason Bateman as the fox.
Yeah.
Oh, what's her name?
I can't remember. But there's a lot of good.
Officer Judy Hopps. I can't remember her name. She's in a lot, obviously. Once Upon a Time. She's like the main character. One of the main characters. Jennifer what?
Hold on. I'm looking it up as we speak. Jennifer Goodwin.
Okay. Jennifer Goodwin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her name's spelled with a G.
I know.
So that threw me off when I was trying to pronounce Jennifer. Great movie though. I think the fox, Nick Wilde, is hilarious.
Love it.
Idris Elba is in this movie also.
He is like The Rock. It's like they never stop working.
Yeah.
Like him and The Rock are like literally in everything.
Yeah, but Idris Elba is a lot better than The Rock. Sorry to all the Rock people out there, but The Rock is getting annoying.
Does the same movie over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I like The Rock. I like The Rock a lot more because of Moana and because the Jungle Cruise movie.
No, yeah. I'll give you that.
I was kind of
those two movies are really good.
Yeah, I was kind of burnt out on The Rock, but the Jungle Cruise, I was like, dang, this is good.
Yeah, because he's not himself in that movie. He's more fun.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a more fun movie. Like normally it's not. He's like, I'm the bad guy that's a good guy.
Yeah. Jungle Cruise, I'm just going to say one of my favorite movies of all time. Totally blew me away. Like far exceeded my expectations. I don't know if it was because my expectations were low because The Rock was in it or what, but freaking
this is a Disney
killer.
Animation.
Yeah, I know.
Get over your Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, we'll get over it. All right.
So Zootopia, yeah, it's definitely like an 8 out of 10 movie for me. It's super good.
I think we're supposed to be getting a series on Disney Plus, a Zootopia series.
I'd be down for that. As long as it's got good animation.
Yeah. I'm sure the animation would be the same.
The cast and everything, it'd be super fun. They could do a lot with it.
I agree. Zootopia's on my list, so we'll just move on.
Okay.
Anyway, my number 4 is Frozen 2. I like it better than the first movie. So many things. The soundtrack I think is better in the second movie. I like the storyline with Kristoff better in the second movie. I like the colors better in the second movie. I just like everything better about the second movie.
Okay.
It's not like the first movie's on my list, but if I'm gonna choose one, it's gonna be
Frozen
the
2.
second one.
Over the first.
Yeah, it's just more of like I don't know, you get more of like a widespread adventure. And I think there's a lot more like character development that happens in the second movie with both of the sisters.
Well, you already know them. That's why. That's why the sequels are always like really, well, I guess it depends on the sequel, but 9 times out of 10, the sequels are better because you already know like, oh, okay, we know who these characters are.
Yeah. But again, it's the same as the first one in the sense like the animation style I really like. We've got the same voice actors as in the first movie. It's got a lot of good comic relief with Olaf. And I just like the storyline.
Yeah. Great movie. It's one that we've rewatched here recently a lot. And I think that's why I picked Frozen 1 over Frozen 2 because I'm a little burnt out on Frozen 2.
Okay, that's fair.
Because every time, there for a while, you and Grayson were watching it nonstop. And I was like, oh my gosh, Frozen 2 again? Let's watch something else.
That was probably in the time when we were watching Toy Story every day. And I would turn on anything else that I think I could get him to sit down and watch.
Okay, here we go. This is big money. The top 3 is the big 3. Top 5 is big thing, but top 3 is like, these are set in stone.
I had such a hard time. I'm just like I was just staring at my paper.
I can't believe you had a hard. Well, I guess I had a hard time.
I didn't know I didn't know what order to put them in because
the fluid.
It's all it's all relative to the last time you watched it, how many times you've watched it, who you were watching it with, who you're surrounded by, like when you're, it's just like everything affects everything else. And I have to go back to the rewatchability and how often I would prefer or how many times I could rewatch something. So my number 3 is Zootopia.
Okay.
I mean, you talked about it already, but I just love the movie. I think I'm really drawn to the colors and the animation. It's a very happy, uplifting movie with a happy ending. So I like that. I like that there's not any romance in this movie. It's more of like a friendship, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to be said about. I think it's just a super fun movie.
Yeah. I want to live in that world so bad.
I know, like they really need to put it in Disney World.
Yeah. And I think if we get a Disney Plus series, it would be super fun to explore the world that they live in, because like whenever she first gets to Zootopia,
Mm-hmm.
and like she's walking off the bus or off the train,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like these little like guinea pig portals like the tubes, like Tube City. And that's an Office reference for anyone that likes The Office. The giraffes that come up like the escalator.
Yeah, I mean, Zootopia is a great is very diverse, right? They have to adapt the city to every shape and size of animal. So you have
the hippos.
Just it's more accessible for every breed.
Yeah. The hippos crack me up. How they come out of the water, like it's like a water escalator, and they come out and they get like blow dried off. I mean, that's hilarious to me. So I would really like a Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I just love how they use like some stereotypes in the movie, like the sloths worked at the DMV. And it was like it was a funny parallel to like real life DMV workers, like the stereotype that they're like really slow and boring.
Yeah, and like the weasel was like a little pirate in movies.
Yeah.
He sold the pirate in movies, Weaselton.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Tudyk also, by the way. Just saying that he's in all the Disney movies.
Crazy.
But yeah, great movie. Did I say my number 3 yet?
No. I don't think so.
My number 3 is The Lion King.
Oh, interesting.
What?
I'm just trying to think.
Well, my number 2 and number 1
I don't really care about The Lion King. We watched it a lot when I was a kid, and maybe I'm burnt out on it from watching it a lot as a kid. My sister really loved it a lot. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of scary in a couple of the scenes, like dark and scary.
It is a little bit, but we watch this movie all the freaking time, and I was raised more around animals than you, so I got drawn to animal like movies more. Hence why Zootopia is number 4 and Lion King is number 2 or number 3. So my dad used to work at a animal safari, and I got to experience like all these animals pretty much all the time when I was a kid. So Lion King is like a fundamental movie in my childhood that is really good. Plus I love the voice acting in the movie.
Well,
and it's just a great movie.
I could see, since your family owned Wild Animal Safari, how you would love this movie even more because of that. Yeah. Because it's a really nice, like, real life parallel, and to get to like see all of the animals in person and see them in the movie. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. Growing up and getting to experience that was like the coolest thing a kid could do. But anyway, that is my number 3.
Okay. Okay, you want to go first on your number 2?
No, I want you to go first. Yeah, hold on. So your number 2 is going to be either Tangled or I think it's Tangled.
My number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
My number 2 is Tangled.
Ah, nice. I
You know
can't
me
think
so
of
well.
what your number 1 will be.
You'll know once I say it.
Mm.
Okay. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Mulan.
Okay. Nice. What do you have to say about Mulan that we didn't already say?
It's not a romance heavy movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of along the lines of like Zootopia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she obviously has a crush on him, but she can't say because she's acting like a guy.
Yeah.
But it's apparent. But I like that it's not like, oh, it's like a princess and a king.
Yeah.
It's like a soldier and a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Eddie Murphy as Mushu. The animals in the movie crack me up. Him, the cricket, the horse, like how they interact with one another is hilarious to me. Ming-Na, she does an amazing job as Mulan. And like when I think of like her iconic roles, like that's number 1, and then like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like up there, and she's just in a lot of good movies.
She is. Definitely.
And like she's got the perfect voice for Mulan.
Yeah, she's definitely an icon.
Yeah, and I like that they brought her back in Wreck-It Ralph too. Whenever they meet all the princesses in that scene,
yes,
where they catch Ralph from when he's like falling from the roof.
My mind was going a different direction, so it's hard for me to like pull back and think of Wreck-It Ralph now, because I was thinking about how she was in the end of the live action Mulan.
Yeah.
And I about crapped my pants.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, she was like, I like how a lot of those in Wreck-It Ralph too, all the Disney princesses came back to like voice their characters.
I love the little scenes with the Disney princesses in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, Mulan is like a really like a movie we watched a lot, and a movie that like I think I could watch it 1,000 times and not get burned out on it. And I also really like the like Eastern culture, like Japanese and Chinese like culture. I think it's super interesting. So that movie just like resonates with me. And it's a 90s movie, and it's the same way with The Lion King. That's a movie that came out in the 90s. So like these are fundamental movies when I was growing up that like are instilled in my brain. So
I agree.
That's why Mulan is there.
I think this is a movie that you can just turn on and have playing in the background when you're doing something, and you could literally sit down at any point in time in the movie and like be invested in it.
Yeah. The Be a Man song.
Oh yeah.
Man, I can listen to that in the car and still like jam out when like Grayson's with me.
Freaking soundtracks, man. I listened to several songs from this movie.
Yeah.
We listened to the Disney hits playlist on Spotify with Grayson pretty often.
Yeah.
Man, some really good songs.
Yeah, it's super fun. And oh my gosh, not the captain, but the one nerdy captain. I can't remember what he is. He's the one that's like, Captain! Like, he's the second-hand man to the captain. The guy that does his voice, I love that character. Or that guy. He's hilarious. So, yeah. I'm not gonna say
I'm just gonna say again how bummed I am that they didn't do a word-for-word remake of Mulan. They did it in Injustice.
I guess we're gonna have to rewatch the Mulan movie to see.
It was good.
I don't remember it. That's why I'm saying, like, I know that was the first movie we bought on Disney Plus.
It sucks because like I said earlier in this podcast, like up until that point, they had pretty much just done like word for word remakes with all of the live actions with a couple like edits, whatever. But for the most part, like the storyline was the same. But then
that was supposed to come out in theaters, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
That was during COVID.
Yeah. But we were all like, I didn't know anything about the film except it was a live action Mulan. And so I assume it was going to be the same storyline, and it wasn't, which is a huge bummer. Like they could have the movie that we got could have been just called something else, and we still could have gotten Mulan. Like, they should have done it the way the animated movie was.
No, I get it. But and that's what's crazy too, is like when that movie came out, you had the people that are like, oh, I'm glad it was not a shot-for-shot remake of Mulan, and other people like you that are like, it needs to be a shot-for-shot remake of Mulan.
Well, that's the one that we all cared about the most. Like,
no, I get it.
Like The Lion King. The way they did it, like, I didn't like it because it was literally like word for word remake. Like, you could, if you have seen the animated movie, a lot of times you could have probably quoted the live action.
Yeah, but what would you have done differently in The Lion King?
I don't know, not have the same literal script.
I'm just saying, I mean, you're getting into like a very gray area of like,
well, I mean, if they're
cherry picking on what you want.
Well, I know that's the way we are in society. We gotta nitpick everything. But I think Mulan is special.
No,
and
I agree.
I think usually Disney knows what people want, and it was just disappointing to see that they didn't give us what we want. It's probably to do with politics and everyone's opinions about everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say right now that's probably why you didn't get like the drag scenes, anything like that.
Well, and like the whole relationship between Shang and Mulan, he kind of fell in love with her when she was posing as a man. And so, like, it's the whole idea of, like, maybe he's bisexual. Who cares?
I don't know if it's bisexual. I think he just...
Pansexual, whatever.
No, I just think he respected Mulan.
Yeah, but I'm saying that ideology is, like, why they probably went a different direction.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's silly, but anyway.
Yeah. I do like that scene where she's, like, towards the end of the movie when she's like, you trusted me as Ping, now you don't trust me as Mulan. That's I don't know, it like there's a lot of things that just hit really hard in that movie. Good movie. I like the three guy characters as well, her friends. Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great film, really well done. Loved everything about it, and I just wish they would have done a word for word remake.
Okay. All right. Talk about Tangled.
Tangled was kind of revolutionary at the time because the animation style was, but I believe this came out before Frozen, and it was like a new animation style at the time.
Yeah, because Princess and the Frog came out in 2009.
I just love the animation style. I love the storyline. Just like, it's sad because she's taken away from her parents from a very young age, and they have to live like they basically watched her get kidnapped. I mean, how horrifying as a parent is that?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine because she was just a baby, and then she's gone for 18 years almost.
Yeah.
And like, as a parent, that is horrifying, but I love the movie in the sense that like she gets to go on this quest and, you know, discover herself and who she is. And obviously she meets Flynn Rider, and their whole adventure is really funny. Love the romance.
Eugene.
Yeah. Eugene Fitzherbert, whatever. I just love it. It's got a great comedy. Again, the voice casting, Mandy Moore and
Zachary Levi.
They both did a great job. They have wonderful voices for all of the amazing songs. I See the Light is one of my favorite songs from the movie.
Yeah, you always catch her going, and at last I see the light, all the freaking time. And she'll be like, she won't know that like me and Grayson are listening, and Grayson will look at me like, whoa. Is mom singing?
That's what happens when you become a parent. You're like always singing random things.
She sings that all the time.
I've kind of my mom never like sang really. I mean, she would kind of like sing bedtime stories, I guess, but my dad would always make like random songs out of literally anything, and now that's me.
That's
like
me.
When I'm trying to get him to do something, I'll make a song out of it. And then we'll sing some random crap. And anyway, but yeah, I do like sing pretty often. I don't have a good voice, but it doesn't matter.
I like Pascal in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one thing that Disney's really good at, is always making a like an animal or like a something like Olaf, like a very funny character, like Mushu. And man, what other movies are there where they're like, oh, like the side character is super cute and funny?
Well, I mean, a lot of the Disney princess movies, they all have like
yeah,
like
I guess
in
like
Little-
the mice,
like the Little Mermaid. She's got Sebastian and Flounder, and then you said in like Cinderella, she's got the mice.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast. I mean, obviously, she's got
a plethora of items.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Disney just does a really good job with like the side characters, and like Pascal doesn't talk in the movie.
Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of attitude.
But he's got attitude. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say about Tangled? It's definitely a bright movie.
Yeah, I mean, it just, again, like, I am just so affected by what's around me.
Oh, the horse. He's funny too.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the colorful animation storylines. It's all good. Perfect combination of action, adventure, romance, and comedy.
Yeah. Also, the Disney short where they get married, the newest
so
one,
good.
it's hilarious. And it's a Pascal and the horse adventure. And it's only like 5 minutes, but it's hilarious.
Okay. So let me try to guess your number one. Your number one. What have you not said?
You're not gonna get it.
No, I can't remember what was even on your list at this point. What was your number one?
My number one. Dun dun dun.
Is it Moana?
No. Any other guesses before I tell you?
Okay.
It's Hercules.
Shit. Oh my God. Like, you literally told me the other day how much you love Hercules.
My favorite movie.
Was that yesterday when we were driving and we were talking about this?
Yeah.
You told me yesterday it was going to be one of your favorites and I forgot it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I have no idea what your number one is because I thought Tangled would be your number one.
Moana.
Oh. Really?
I freaking love Moana.
Yes. Interesting.
So good.
Oh, I almost for sure thought Tangled was going to be your number one. You were close.
You knew better than me. Like, I can't believe I forgot about Hercules.
Yeah.
So tell me why it's your favorite. Did you guys have the plates growing up?
Yep. McDonald's.
We did too.
Every freaking time, man. Every time. I ate off those plates until I left the house. And then, well, I don't even know what happened to those plates. But I know your mom still has all the plates.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to kill her to get those plates.
I can go thrifting. I wonder if some of the thrift stores around here probably have them.
Because those are like, that right there, like the McDonald's plates, that is childhood nostalgia. Because, I mean, we ate on those plates like religiously.
I will have to hunt them down and get them for you as a gift.
Yeah. God, it's like another 90s movie.
Mm-hmm.
Danny DeVito is in this movie.
Danny DeVito is the boss.
And it's just a funny movie. And Greek mythology has always interested me. And it's like sad and like good-hearted. Because he's, like half human, half God. And he doesn't know it until like later in life. And then he trains to be a god practically. So I just really like the movie. I think it's fun.
We didn't watch it a ton growing up, but we had the plates. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just like, obviously we all know how memory works. And sometimes you just remember things better than other things. Like, I remember watching Beauty and the Beast a lot. And I know we watched Hercules, but I don't remember watching it a lot. But we liked it enough to have all of the plates.
Yeah. We need to rewatch it. I think that's one Grayson would really like.
He would. And they've got a couple really good songs in there too. Good
Yeah,
soundtrack.
I like Hades, the guy that
Mhm.
plays Hades, the voice of Hades. Meg, she's great.
Yeah,
And I don't know, it's just a fun movie.
it is
It's
good.
super interesting.
I would say it's probably on my honorable mentions list.
Okay. Well, I've got a specific honorable mentions list that I will mention in a little bit, but yeah, so Hercules is definitely my number one. Also, they're coming out with a live action Hercules,
Bomb.
and if it doesn't meet my expectations, I will destroy Disney.
Have they announced the cast yet?
Not the cast, but the guy that directed Aladdin is directing
Okay.
Hercules, Guy Ritchie.
We both liked the live action Aladdin.
Yeah, loved it.
I do know people are going to riot if they don't cast Danny DeVito in the live action.
Yeah, if they don't have him as the voice of Phil,
Yeah,
I will freak out.
He needs to be cast.
And that's like the same thing with Mulan. Like, they needed an Eddie Murphy dragon.
Yeah.
Or at least Eddie Murphy in the movie. Like, come on. Anyway, my number one is Hercules. Like I said, it's another one of those films that was like a fundamental film of my youth.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it all the time. Super fun.
Okay.
Like the character. I think it's because he was like big and strong. And like as a little boy, like you want to be like, oh, I want to be big and strong like Hercules.
Yeah.
So. Okay, let's hear about Moana.
I freaking love Moana. Like, and this was the part that was really hard because it's like I really had to dig in and think about, okay, if I am going to stop and turn on one of these movies, which one am I going to turn on more often than the others?
Mm-hmm.
Moana, every time. Like, if Grayson is not being particular about what he wants to watch, I will more often turn on Moana than anything else.
Yeah.
Obviously The Rock's in it. He does a great job. I love the storyline. I keep saying that in this podcast, but I love the storyline. There's no romance involved. We just get to see her develop into a young woman and a leader. And again, with the animation, I love the animation style. I love the bright colors. That really draws me in. Again, with the soundtrack, You're Welcome is one of Grayson's favorite songs.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Welcome.
I love it too. Several great songs on there. It's just really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love the whole storyline and how they wrap it up at the end with Tafiti. And I love the whole scene with the crab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I ate my grandma.
You sounded just like... Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's a great, like, progressive, like, she starts off at the beginning. She's got a very strict father, which we find out more about him in the movie as to why he is the way he is.
Timurera Morrison.
Yep. Again, another legend. But she has just always been very drawn to the water ever since she was a young child. And we get this whole story of her going back to the water, and her dad keeps trying to stop her. And eventually, obviously, this whole movie is her kind of becoming one with the water. And then she proves to herself and her whole family, like, they used to be voyagers. Yeah. And she leads this whole community to be voyagers again and bring them back to their roots. And she's just a young teenager. I think it's such a powerful storyline instead of just doing another romance where there's like, she's a princess and she meets a prince or whatever. Just fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is a bright movie. It's a fun movie. It would probably be on my honorable mentions, but it did not crack the top 10, obviously.
I can't even believe it didn't crack your top 10. Like, 101 Dalmatians is better than Moana?
In my mind, yes.
That's shocking. Okay.
This isn't a list of, like, what movie can I turn on and watch all the time?
Well,
this is a list of, like, your top 10 all-time and Disney animation movies.
Well, that has to play a factor in my mind. Because if I can't just turn it on and watch it all the time, it's not really my favorite.
I get that.
Like, The Little Mermaid's number 10. I could turn it on and watch it sometimes and be happy, but I'm certainly not going to watch it more than I watched Moana.
Well, I've got Moana covered on my watch list because it's your number one, so.
Okay, so let's talk honorable mentions.
Okay, I've got a specific honorable mentions list, and it's called the 90s hits because 90s Disney animation was like a golden age era of Disney animation. So I'm going to go through the list of 90s animation movies. So you had The Lion King, you had Mulan, you had Hercules, Tarzan, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those all came out in the 90s. So pretty much watched every single one of those movies all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a couple of those, like Hunchback of Notre Dame, I remember watching, but I don't remember watching it a lot, and it goes back to like the relevance. Like Atlantis, and I think Treasure Planet was one
Treasure
of them.
Planet was a good one, but
Yeah,
it's
but
like
I
mid
can't
2000s, early 2000s.
I can't remember that much about it.
Yeah.
And so I can't put it on my list.
No, I agree. That was like me with Pocahontas. I like the movie Pocahontas, but I can't remember hardly anything about it other than it was like a, Native American meets the white man movie kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, the 90s definitely golden age for animation for Disney.
Yeah, a lot of good movies.
The 90s and the early 2000s, just in cinema and film, holy crap, we had so much.
Yeah.
In the 90s and early 2000s. Like that.
Jurassic Park.
From like 1990 to 2005, like that 15-year period for everything was just the best we've ever gotten, I think.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of good rom-coms come out at that time period as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of good movies back then.
Okay, so can I do a couple of my honorable mentions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this one would have been on my list, but I didn't think it was fair because the movie's not fully animated. But Enchanted, which came out in 2007, is partially animated. We start off the movie at the beginning with animation. There's some animated characters throughout, and then towards the end, there's more animation.
I've never watched that.
Yes, you have, with Patrick Dempsey. And, oh my gosh, what's her name? I don't have my phone on me. Red hair. She plays Lois Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Amy Adams.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah.
Is Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen that.
No.
Yes, you have. There's no way. I watch it pretty often.
No, Enchanted?
Yeah.
No idea.
Oh my God. Okay, well, it's really good.
I'm
they're coming out with
Maleficent.
They're coming out with a sequel called Disenchanted, and it should be out in the next couple of years.
No idea what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, it would have been on my top 10 list for sure, but I didn't think it was fair to be on an animated films list because it's not fully animated. It's mostly live action. But anyway, still honorable mention. And then my other one is Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
Because
that one would have been up there. Like I said, that would have been my number 10. But I like Frozen just a bit more.
Yeah, I like the storyline. I like the soundtrack.
I like the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we were watching The Princess and the Frog right before we did this podcast, and it was a super fun movie.
Yeah, I think so. Neither of us have had seen Princess and the Frog up until today.
Yeah.
And I think it was because it came out in 2009, so we would have both been in high school. Like, I would have been a freshman, you would have been a freshman. Like, you would have been ending.
I would have been a freshman.
You would have been ending your freshman year. I would have been
grader.
starting it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. We've been like around.
I'm a year older
age.
than Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But anyway, so it came out at a weird time. Like, we were both in sports. I was playing 2 sports. you were playing football
And track, yeah.
And
I was
track.
in 2 sports.
So
And we were
We-
high schoolers. And it was working up to get our license. And the last thing on our mind was, let's watch Princess and the Frog.
absolutely. But having watched most of it today, I just want to say, like, the theming is more on point with the Splash Mountain retheme than I thought it was going to be, because it's very, so the theme is currently Song of the South,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually not going to be like that crazy to move it over to Princess and the Frog, because it's like New Orleans, set in New Orleans or whatever,
Yeah.
however you say
super
it.
Cool.
Very southern.
Mm-hmm.
And the animation style, even though it came out in 2009, was very like 90s animation style. So I think it'll be an easy transition for Disney to make it Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. I was going to say, I love that animation. That was the last movie of the like classic Disney like looking animation before it went into the Tangled look.
Yeah.
And we started watching it and I was like, oh, sweet. It's like the good, I call it the good animation because I really like it. And that's what I grew up on. So I was super excited when I saw it like that.
Yeah.
And it seemed really funny when we
Yeah.
were watching it.
Cute movie for sure, but I would need to watch it a couple times before
Rank it.
I don't think I mean, just judging from today, I don't think it would be on my top 10 list.
It could possibly be in my top 10 because I really like what we were watching so far.
Okay.
Shocker. Shocking Ashley again.
You are like, I fully expected, like I said at the beginning, I mean, the 101 Dalmatians thing to be expected. I thought you were going to do Fox and the Hound, Lady and the Tramp. Yes, because like you and Jess would talk about the Aristocats all the time. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I don't even remember watching that movie.
She does not like the Aristocats. She used to tell me that when we first started dating. Like, ew, you like the Aristocats? That movie sucks.
I think I maybe have seen it like once or twice, but it was like a long time ago.
Yeah, good movie.
But anyway, you shocked me for sure.
Yeah.
We've been together 8.5 years.
No, almost 9 years, dude.
It's June.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's right.
8.5 years, and I still learn new things.
Yeah.
About you.
Yeah. So that's our top 10. Let us know what your guys' top 10 is, or your top 5, whatever you want to write down in the comments. But let us know. We're super interested in that.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did we want to say? What kind of stuff are we going to be putting out soon?
Obviously we'll be getting a new Miss Marvel episode Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be posting that. We watched episode 3 last night. Ashley watched episode 3. I fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I was freaking locked on the screen watching Revenge of the Sith last night.
I was pretty tired, so I got through like half the movie and then passed out.
It is so intense. It's so much more intense when you're an adult and you're like invested in the characters and the storyline. Man, blows my mind. And Obi-Wan Kenobi like really did a great job at tying everything together.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll probably do some Disney Parks podcasts pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. We'll definitely do like what we talked about in our last episode, kind of like our thoughts and review of episode 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars. And then we might throw like the what if Star Wars canonicity in there, just as like things we would like to see if they created a what if Star Wars. Oh man, I'm not sure what else to say.
Yeah.
I think that's it for now. Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out soon, so we'll be talking about that. But for Disney stuff, we really need to do a parks episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited, but I want it to be like a series of 4, and I want it to be like close together, so we need more time that we have together to do it. But anyway, thank you all for listening today. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure you share with your friends. Follow us on Instagram at BTE Podcast. We'll have it linked in the description of this video. Give us a rating on whatever platform you're listening, and we will talk to you in the next one.